Hey guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, I wanted to talk all about the top financial resolutions that people make and how to help you reach those goals. So let's talk about that. So if you're like me, you are really looking forward to a fresh start in this new year. Last few months have been really difficult, very challenging. I just want a new start. And even though we're several weeks into the new year, it's not too late to have a resolution or to think about a goal for this coming year. Maybe you're just starting to get bills in from the holidays. Maybe you overspent. Maybe you went into debt over the holidays and you're thinking, how can I make this better for the next holiday season? So now is the perfect time to start thinking about that. And no matter what kind of goal you make or resolution you have, statistically, obviously, a lot of people just, quit after a certain short period of time. So if you're making your goal or resolution, I really want to say in the beginning of this video here that even if you screw it up, even if you really badly screw it up, just get back on the path, right? So when you have a goal, when you put your foot on the path, you just have to continue to jump back on. So just like with horseback riding, I used to ride horses. If you fall off the horse, that analogy, you got to get back on it. So you're never going to reach that goal unless you continue to strive towards it. So just don't stop, no matter how many times you fall down. All right, so the top financial resolutions people make. Number one on the list is to save money. Okay, so saving money is a really big resolution for a lot of people, but you're never going to save money if you don't automate it, in my opinion. You really have to go in and set up your direct deposit through work and make it automatic so you don't think about it, because otherwise you're just going to spend the money. So you have to just start small if you have to, even if it's $5. Just try to automate it as best you can so that you don't think about it. It's just going to come right out of your paycheck. Or, if you're getting paid in cash, you have to find some way to make it just really, if you're trying to do it manually, like going in and transfer money, it's most likely not going to happen because you're going to forget, or you're going to say, oh, I have this other thing I want to do instead. So automate it. All right. Next one is to get out of debt. Almost everybody usually, if you have debt, resolution is I'm going to reduce debt. Okay. So if you are having an income crisis this year, or you're trying to look for work, you've been laid off, then at the very least, just commit to not accruing any more debt, right? Stop charging things and just, say, okay, we're not going to accumulate anymore. So if you can just do that, then I think it will help you. And if you continue to make the minimum payments, that in itself will help to reduce your debt. I don't know what your interest rates are, but committing to get out of debt, I think, is important, because when you have no debt, you have so many more choices. When you are in debt, I think it impacts the choices you make. It impacts the jobs you take, your relationships personally, and in your career. I just think that there's so many different levels to debt, and I hate it, as you know. But get out of debt however way works for you. So try to come up with some kind of plan. If that means paying off your debt smallest to largest, because that helps you feel some momentum, it helps you, feel encouraged, then do that. If you would rather pay off your highest interest rates first, those ones, then go ahead and attack those debts. If you would prefer to pay off, credit cards because you hate them like I did, and it'll make you feel more motivated, then do that. Whatever it is, if you have a bill from somebody that you hate, can't stand, you owe them money, you want to get that out of your life because you think it'll help inspire you, then do it, right? So come up with some kind of plan, whatever it is, to attack the debt as far as which one you're attacking first. And I think that will really help. So get out of debt. That's number 2 on the top list. Number 3 is to spend less. And in order to spend less, you have to know what you have been spending more on. So what have you been spending your money on? So you have to track it. Take a month or 2 months and track what it is that you're spending on. I mean, it used to be people, a lot of people were eating out a lot, and that's an easy one to cut back on. But these days, you might not be eating out a lot because you're not going out a lot, but maybe you're overspending on shopping online on a certain website or Amazon. But you got to look and see what you are spending your money on, because so then that way you can, have a plan. Again, have a plan to reduce your spending in that category. But it's hard to reduce spending if you don't know what you're spending your money on. So first step is to figure that out. Next is insurance. So according to US News and World Report, they did publish an article on the top resolutions, and looking into insurance was on their list. So whether that's life insurance, for us personally, we've had some recent issues, pet issues. So we have gotten pet insurance. It's $20 a month. So now we have pet insurance. I'm sure some of you will be happy to hear that. So if our kitten in the future has any need for surgery or is sick, we will have pet insurance to cover 90% of that cost, which will help with decision making as far as having surgeries and whatnot. But if you don't have life insurance, especially after this past year and everything with the pandemic, then I highly recommend, looking in. If it seems scary, it's really not. Okay. We went through Xander Insurance to get our life insurance, and I just, whatever, it's so easy to go on to whatever company you want to, multiple companies. You want to try to use a broker if you can that compares a whole bunch of different life insurance companies, but usually it's online, a simple form you fill out. And then usually you do have to get some kind of physical done, but just start the process. If it seems overwhelming, just take it one step at a time, right? So just that's what I tell myself a lot. Like today, you're just going to log online and find one life insurance website. Term life insurance is what I recommend. And maybe just fill out one of those forms just to see about how much it would be per month. So you can do that with Xander Insurance. It'll tell you really fast how much per month it will be. And that's the only one I really know off the top of my head. Not that I care which life insurance company you decide to go with, but just try to do it one thing a day or one step at a time. And then, if it seems like it's intimidating, but a lot of times those things are not as expensive maybe as you might think they are, but at least get the information as far as how much it would be, right? So, insurance is another big financial resolution for a lot of people. Maybe you have some issues with health insurance and you want to look into some policies with that. So anyway, yeah. Paying your bills on time. That might be your resolution for this coming year. And I'd say that's a good one because it's incredibly stressful and defeating when you get phone calls for past due bills or letters in the mail, which I have received in my past, and it just is not fun. It is not a good feeling. So maybe your resolution is to pay your bills on time, and you could set them up to auto pay out of your account. If you're worried about overdrafting your account, then maybe you want to create some kind of spreadsheet or a written calendar or alerts on your phone. Just again, have some kind of plan, take some time thinking about it so that way you can get your bills paid on time in the coming year. Create an emergency fund. If you don't have any emergency fund, this is a great year to do it because emergencies, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when. There will be an emergency eventually. So even if it's just $1,000 put aside in a savings account, definitely that's something that should be your top number one priority, in my opinion, just to get that money set aside in case you have to pay a copay or something for an emergency room visit. You want to be able to have the money, because if you don't have some kind of money sitting aside for those emergency situations, you are more likely to go into debt, back into debt, deeper into debt, if you don't have the money set aside to pay for it, because there's a lot of things that can occur. So obviously $1,000 isn't enough really, especially if you're a homeowner. But if you have some kind of car repair, hopefully you have a sinking fund for your car. Regardless whether you're trying to get out of debt or not, I think it's a really good idea to have some kind of account set aside for oil changes, and just those cars are going to break. Even if they're brand new cars, something is going to happen. But start an emergency fund. And this is where try to cut back in order to build your emergency fund. Try to cut back on other spending for a couple months, and so you can just boost up that emergency fund. And then once you're done, you'll feel so much better. Okay, and then retirement. All right, set aside money for retirement. If you haven't started to do that and you have some kind of plan through work, then that is the simplest, easiest, fastest way to get started on retirement, especially if your employer has a match. Definitely want to be taking advantage of that. If you do not have that through work, then hopefully you can get some kind of Roth IRA. You can get an advisor, a financial advisor, to help you with that. But definitely this might be a good year to begin starting to think about the future. We all are going to get older, just like we all are going to die. It's a fact. So that's why that life insurance and then also retirement are both really important elements that it's important to think about. Okay, and then last on the list of top financial resolutions is to set a budget and to not forget about it. Okay. So you should be doing, in my opinion, a monthly budget. It means every single month you should have something written down on paper, in a spreadsheet, in an app, as far as what you expect to be coming in as far as income, and then what is going to be going out as far as your bills and, utilities, expenses. So you should be doing that every single month, because if you don't have some kind of plan and you don't know what you're going to be spending money on that month, all the money that comes in is just going to kind of fly away and you're not going to know what happened to it. So I am huge on planning, if you didn't figure that out already. So a budget is basically a plan. That's all it is. It's just a plan for when the money comes in, when you get paid, what are you going to do with that money? What bills are you going to be paying? Or, and also, what money are you going to be setting aside for emergency funds, for saving, for investing, for vacation, for Christmas, for your pet. You need to know exactly how much money you're going to be setting aside. You have to figure that out in the beginning of the month. And you should be doing that every single month. It's not once a year and done, which is something I thought it should be in the past, and I actually did that. It doesn't work that way, because every month you'll be getting a different number of paychecks. There's certain months that you might be getting 3 paychecks or 2 versus 2. You might be getting a bonus, or you might be getting a tax return, or you might be getting a stimulus check, or who knows. All right. So you don't know what you're going to be getting. I mean, you do know what you're going to be getting, but every month is different. So you should have a new budget every single month to plan for that money. Otherwise, when that, fabulous bonus comes in, it's just going to go, right? And you're like, what the heck did we do with that extra money that we got that we were so excited about? We just blew it, right? So it's a really good idea to have a plan, again, for the money. All right. All right. So those are some ideas. If you don't have any resolutions or any goals for this coming year, maybe this will give you some ideas, help inspire you to sort of get your financial act together, get back on track. And because when you have control over your finances, and you have a little money set aside, it really does help to give you peace in all areas of your life. Literally, it helps your relationships flow a little better, and I don't know. It helps with your choices, your decision-making process, because you're not all freaked out. Because if you feel out of control with your money, it just really does impact all areas of your life. So yeah. All right. So that is it, you guys. Hopefully you found this video helpful in some way. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe. We are a family of 6 living in the Philadelphia area, and I do work full-time in finance, and I do these videos on the side, and I continue to be surprised that I continue to do these videos. But I do love YouTube, and I can't think to stop, even though sometimes it is extra work, right? But again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful year. I hope this next year is better than the last year, if it wasn't so good for you. And that's it. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.